Hey everyone, happy Thursday. I hope you've had a great week. This is definitely an interview of opposite parts of the US. So I'm in Alaska, and my guest, Dr. Christina Bukaty, is in Florida,
Mhm.
showing off what it's like to be hanging out in the backyard
Yeah.
of her retirement home. So, Dr. Christy, thanks so much for joining me.
Hello, thank you for having me. I'm so happy to get to talk to you and be on this because I've watched everybody else's, and I don't know. I can't wait for what you're going to ask me. How about that? Let's just roll with this.
Well, let's start with how did you what was winter like in Florida instead of Buffalo, New York?
It's much nicer here. I keep going back to Buffalo. Like I go back like I don't know 5 days a month to still practice and check on things and everything. Still managing it. So I got stuck in the blizzard up there. So I went from a hurricane in September, locked in my house here because Fort Myers is like 13 miles north of me. And then I was in Buffalo for that blizzard and I was locked in my house for 4 days.
Oh my gosh. Was your practice open during the blizzard?
So the blizzard, they kept posting, and they weren't saying it was going to be a blizzard. They kept saying, the storm. And I literally flew in on Wednesday. I'm a preparer. I'm such a prepper. I'm like, my husband is such a minimizer. I love him. He balances me, but he's like, it's not going to be bad. We don't need a lot of food. We're not going to be here that long. We're leaving next week. And I'm like, nah, I'm going to go with my gut. My gut's always right. And I grocery shopped like for
Mm.
lots of food. And then my brother who lives in Florida and my niece got stuck. So we had 6 people for 4 days.
Oh. Oh, in Florida because of the
No, yeah,
hurricane.
we were stuck up in Buffalo for the
Oh.
blizzard for 4 days. He came up to visit. He was supposed to leave,
Oh,
but
gotcha.
because of when it was hitting, and it was hitting, how it was going up the coast this way, he was
Yeah.
supposed to leave Thursday, but that's when it was hitting like North and South Carolina. So he would have been driving into it. It was just
That's
good times.
that's
Good times.
awesome.
Yes.
So let's jump in.
Okay.
Everyone talks about um what they'll do one day, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. Dr. Christy and I were in Cairo school together way back in the 90s. I know you would think that like we're in our 20s.
Yep.
But we have a few more years on us
Mhm.
than that. And even back then you talk about like, oh, I can't wait for the day when
Mhm.
I'm doing what you're doing. So let's start in reverse.
Okay.
And let's first talk about what is the number one habit or upgrade you've learned from since joining the boot camp just back in November,
Right.
despite the fact you've been in practice for decades.
Right. Well, don't forget, I coached with you how many times we'll just go 20 plus years. They don't need to know the numbers. So we'll just go 20 plus. We'll leave that up to the crowd to determine.
Yeah.
Okay. So I've coached with you how many times, which has been awesome because there's things that I've always kept and
Yeah.
implemented.
Yeah.
Um, I will have to say, your whiteboard topics has been since day one that I've ever coached with you. Um, your daily success sheets. And just so anybody who's listening, I started with her when it was one sheet, one sheet of paper, and now it's 2.5. And then, you're in practice a while, and then you're adding like, well, this is what I want. But
Yeah.
so yes, I love your daily success sheets. It keeps your whole team on task and goals. The whiteboard topics, that's always been, and you've always been about, what I've learned from you is referrals. Like always, I don't know. I think it used to be like, you used to tell me like hand out 5 cards a day.
Yeah.
That's how I started, was 5
Yeah.
cards a day. Didn't even matter. And I remember sometimes, I'll be honest, I was the one that was in the grocery store. Like, okay, I had a couple, I'll just leave them. You know what? I'll just leave a couple in the carts. Hey, whatever. When you're starting
Yeah.
out, it's okay. It's
Yeah.
what you got to do, or pound the pavement, go knock on doors or whatever.
Yeah.
So Yes, and I was with you when I started, so thank
Yeah.
you. So yes, I would have to say definitely. I've always loved the whiteboard topics. It's right when the patient's laying face down. If they look up, it's right there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
that makes it a lot easier for
mhm.
sure. And
Yes.
I wonder what it would be like if we stayed hungry our entire career, right? Like we talk about the early days of
Yes.
leaving cards and, like I remember having my kids in a wagon walking door to door, knocking on doors saying, "Hey, I'm Dr. Barbara and I own the new chiropractic office next to
Mhm.
Kroger. And I just wanted to say hi and to tell you I'm here to serve you and your family." Right. And then we'd go down the next driveway and the next driveway. How cool would it be if we stayed that hungry? Right? If even 20 years into practice, we're
That
still
would be yes. I mean,
introducing
that's intense. That would be intense the whole time.
well, I mean, what would be intense about it? Like, I mean, if we break it down, we're like walking around town to say hello.
Right. Well, because then once your kids start getting older, you got time for them, and then they got sports and whatever.
Yeah, but we're not talking about doing it every day.
Right.
But
Well, hey,
can
when
you
I first started, I was at the Erie County Fair. So the Erie County Fair is huge in my area. So just like there's local fairs. And I was in the Agri Center building, huge building. And I was doing spinal screenings for 10 days, literally from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. I would get there, see, we would maneuver our office hours, but then I had to always have staff. Like that was Leo. I had my parents when my kids got older, they were doing hours. And I did that for the first 12 years of my practice.
Woo, woo, woo.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Mhm.
awesome. I love to hear that. And I always tell new docs, like, if you want to get some really great practice at sales and communication, go do a screening. And the people to focus on aren't just the parade of people walking by. Make
No.
sure every vendor
Yeah.
leaves with the referral gift packet, right? So
Yes.
even if attendance stinks, like go meet every other vendor. And
I
I think
did that. So then when the
yeah,
vendors came back in town, you have to like it would start the first Wednesday of August and end this like 2 Sundays later, right? So vendors we would set up on Monday. Well, the ones that were all around me all came in Monday and then they'd see me. I would get to the office early to take care of them and say, I'll see you there in a little bit. So yeah, I would have an extra, 20 to 30 patient visits just those couple weeks every week because here I am taking care of the vendors and it was years.
yeah.
So yes. Or they would even be the ones who would say if somebody came up to them, like one guy was selling like the hot packs or something, and they're like, "Oh, this no, she's a really good chiropractor. I see her." Like it was cross referrals.
Yeah.
It was awesome. Yes, it was
Yeah.
good.
Well, I love
Hmm.
that you did that consistently for 12 years. And if you're watching this and you're just getting started, please know there's no
Yep.
shame in
Yep.
anything that you do to grow your practice. I mean, obviously, barring
Ethically, yeah,
laws and ethics and all of that. But
right.
I think it's just a blast. Like I had a blast talking to people and getting to know them. And it's funny to watch human nature, when you're at an event and you're the screener and people are trying so hard not to make contact. And I'd be like, whoa, it almost happened.
Yes.
You better watch it. And that always made people laugh.
Oh,
So,
exactly. Well, and now with you more years in practice, you have better communication skills, you're more confident, you're more comfortable with yourself as you age.
yeah.
I couldn't imagine doing a screening now.
It'd be
Because,
so fun.
well, yeah, I'm considering, and we've talked about it. I'm doing relief coverage for doctors down in here in Florida. Like I did one yesterday. I'm doing another office tomorrow. And man, I have such an itch to start another one down here. And I'll tell you what, I was looking, there's health fairs and screenings.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then taking, doing with the boot camp, and I'm doing the brain centric and the communication. There is no way someone's walking away from me and not getting under care. I would say that right now. There's, like I'd probably stay there with, is there something that I failed to communicate about your nervous system and how much it's going to change your life? That's why I'm here. in
Yeah.
90 degrees underneath the sun trying to
Yeah.
help you. Like
Yeah.
I probably, nobody's walking away from me. And here you go. Here's my office. We're going, you know what? We're going to go there right now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Load up, baby.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about running your practice from thousands of miles away. That was our topic.
Yes.
And I know that that's like a hot topic. I'm always amazed how many people get into practice and they're already ready to retire.
Yes.
And then just a word to everyone: you don't start retired. And please don't compare your beginning with somebody else's middle or ending.
Right.
It's
right.
The comparison.
Yeah, I would say I'm in the middle right now. I'm not completely out.
Yeah.
I love adjusting way too much. I see
Yeah.
that. That's definitely, it fills my soul to adjust still.
And so, Christy, what makes it work well for you and your team with you in Florida and there in Buffalo? Like, what are like the musts?
The musts. So we have a Google Docs that we keep constant, so that way, even if something occurs like late at night, my thoughts, because I don't need a lot of sleep, we can type it in. They'll come in the morning, they'll see it, they do their thoughts. And then we have meetings every Tuesday and Thursday for about an hour. I'll meet with Joy, my office manager. And I know a lot of you met her at how many of the different conferences and everything she's gone with Dr. Barb. So yes, amazing staff helps. Staff that wants kind of they want what you want. They see the benefit of chiropractic. They see it's a lifestyle. They're right there with you. So I would give Joy and Dr. Matt, they're my right and left hand when I'm there. We're a team. We are a unit, I would say. Yeah. So constant communication. So we have that Google Docs that is every day. I probably do not a Zoom, but we just do Facebook or no, what's it? The live that we have on the iPhone. I had to get an iPhone because I'm an Android user just for this, just FaceTime. So I could always talk to Joy. And then clinical questions. Dr. Matt can always call me, and no, we're always accessible to each other. If it's after hours, so that we honor each other's time, then it's in Google Docs. We always meet on your mastermind. That is one thing. That is our team. Then we talk about it. And then from there, we get delegated tasks to do and what to work on. Like you just had your mastermind yesterday. So right now, Joy and I are doing our testimonials on all of our emails. That's one thing. Yeah. And then we do have deadlines, because other than that, it'll house, like I say, Internet Explorer. It sits there and no one does it.
Right.
So we definitely, whenever you give us projects or things that I want, it gets delegated who's doing it, and it has to have a timeline of when it gets done.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love, I don't know I don't think you were back in the main session yesterday when, poor Dr. Matt, he went into one of the breakout rooms, to do the role playing.
Yes.
And I think what happened is whoever they were in the room with had like internet trouble or whatever. So he came back into the main session.
Yes.
And so I'm like, okay, Matt, like you're up. And I just love how he just like jumps in and, I jumped in and made some corrections, and there's never any loss of enthusiasm with him. No. And he's eager to learn. Yes. And, you can tell that he loves your practice members, and like just a heart of utter gratitude.
Yes.
So great job on recruiting that guy, and
he's
having
a blessing. He's an absolute blessing. Yeah. And it was just a referral from, one of my doctors that's been practicing longer than I have. I called him. I was asking about, where do you look for associates? And he's like, well, I sold my practice, but I had this guy, Matt, intern. He's like, he seems like a really good guy. Give him a call. I gave him a call. I met him, and here we are. Like, it's just, we definitely blend very well. And I don't want to say he listens like a child listens. Like if I instruct him, I'm doing like, did you get that? Teach, model, observe. And he's right there with me. He wants to keep learning. And when I do go back, so since August, I've been going back like 7 days to 5 days a week. And he's still excited for me to come back and learn more. Like,
Yeah.
there is never a lack of excitement. So
Yeah.
that's huge. Like, I love his thirst to keep wanting more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyone that's looking to hire an associate, pass on know-it-alls.
Yes.
Right?
Woo!
Like,
We had one.
I'm still learning as well. And I think that teachable and coachable spirit, like, one, God talks about it. And two, like, in a hurry to serve and in a hungry to learn, right?
Yes.
Like, there's always, and it doesn't necessarily mean there's a better way. There are nuances.
Yes.
Right? Because I mean, think about how many different kinds of people come into our practices, and not only how many different kinds of people, but how many different situations that we're going to see from all of these different people. And so being able to learn from somebody like you that has so much experience and that he's eager to do so. And then of course, Joy is a joy.
Joy's a joy.
Joy is a joy. It was really fun. Dr. Christy, even though she and I have coached together off and on for a number of years, she just joined the boot camp in November and then sent her office manager, Joy, to Nashville. And Joy was just like, we were all like, can we clone you? Like, you're amazing. And so just a really great job, Christy, in recruiting, and all of you, if you're watching this not live or catch it as a replay, always be recruiting. Always have in your RAS that you're growing your team and you're looking, like, fill your bench. Even if you don't have a spot right now, act as if you do and let the person know, like, look, I don't have a spot right now, but what I'd love to do is still go through the process as if I did. And I'll put you on the bench and keep you warmed up so that the minute there's a position open or, our growth necessitates hiring another person, you can just like slide right in. What do you think? And it's awesome to have that, like, kind of in your back pocket, that you've got a deep bench, right? It's just like, like the best.
Well, when you have a culture that people want to work there, that's good. Like right now so I've seen Maggie. I've been seeing her since she's 8 years old. So now guess what? She's going on to chiropractic school. So that's
so exciting.
Yes, that's awesome. So she is she's working at her office before she leaves for August, and she's going to Logan. So that's good.
Why is she going there?
I know.
Just kidding, kind of.
I know. Well, and I wanted Palmer. It's just Davenport's like not in a great area, and I don't know. She fell in love with the campus, but look, hey, I've been teaching her and coaching her. I mean, we're teaching her to re-exam. She's learning your language. How we talk. I mean, she's learning her systems. She'll do great after she graduates. Like it's like parenting and they go to school. It's still what you're taught and what you take in.
So make sure that you connect me with her. So while she's there, she can go check out. We have quite a few boot campers in and around.
Okay.
And so they would be more than happy to have her come and shadow and check out their practices. And
that'll
so
be good.
Yeah,
that's a good idea.
And Dr. Everett's there, and so I'll connect her with him. He does like a philosophy group, which you and I both know.
You need that at Logan, yes.
We didn't exactly get that. We were on the road to Cape Girardeau.
Cape Girardeau. Yeah.
Every weekend. Hey, shout out to Dr. Rob Kessinger. Woo! You the man. Thank you so much for teaching us philosophy and upper cervical and all of those yummy things. So, Christy, as we wrap this up, what advice do you have to somebody who, let's say they've been in practice 10 or 15 years and they're just starting to feel like, ugh.
Remember why you got in it. That is, you have to, why did you get into this? And because I'm going to say I got to that point. That's when I would probably reach back out to you. but it's also like you have to, the joy of adjusting somebody and seeing them, their innate flow, which I had an aha moment. I have to tell you this, and I do want this on live. So I've been doing that brain centric, and then
Yeah.
I've been reading The Bigness of the Fellow Within. So I kind of have that. And I'm literally driving through my neighborhood, and I'm like, you know what BJ was talking about with innate and how it flows? I'm like, he was talking about joy, peace, and happiness and love flowing through their body.
Yeah.
That's what he was talking about. That's the innate intelligence, that peace, love, joy, and happiness is hitting every cell. Like we're back to where we were when we were birthed, and there was none of the experiences and calluses
Yeah.
of
All the
injury.
horse crap.
Yes, all the horse crap. Yeah.
You know, we did a mastermind on Friday, and shout out to one of my mentors, Michael Neal, who has this awesome video about the, you know, where does our experience of life comes from. And we often mistake circumstance and experience. So circumstance is solid. Like this is my nose. So circumstance is solid, where experience is the feeling, right? And many times we act as if the experience is actually a circumstance, and it's not. And we make our world, our lives really small, because we act as if everything around us has to be okay for us to be okay, right? Like you all have to treat me right or I won't be okay. You all have to agree with what I do or I won't be okay. And that makes for a really small world, because we're all playing our own video
game. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was on that mastermind of like, because he was talking about like overwhelmed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Overwhelmed comes from experience. Overload. Yes. And overwhelmed versus overload. Yes. That was a good one. Yes. Leo was like in the side. I think I told you, I'm like, he's over here listening, Barb. I hope that's okay.
20 some years. That's what he
said. Barb, whenever he comes by, he's always like, hi. And you're always like that. Yeah. Yep.
So to all of you, thanks for joining us. Christy, thanks so much. Congratulations on your continued success. And
for those you're a part of it.
Oh, thank you. For those of you who don't know, it's our 6th year anniversary in the 56-day chiropractic boot camp to double your business. There are 2 anniversary specials going on right now for private coaching, as well as for the 56-day chiropractic boot camp membership. One of the big things about this month is I'm doing away with the lifetime membership. So if you've been on the fence and looking, there will never be a better time to join than right now, because it's going away and membership will be closed for several months throughout the summer. So you won't be able to even get in again until later on, and you'll never have access to the lifetime membership. And so if you've been contemplating it, get off your chair, schedule a call with me, just email me, Facebook message me. I'll get you all connected. Let's have a conversation. If we're a fit, I'll lay out for you what to do. If we're not, there are 700 other programs I'd be happy to direct you to. The most important thing is don't stay stuck. It doesn't get better just by sitting and thinking. It gets better when we move. So, Christy, thank you so much to all of you. God bless you. Yes. Have a great night.